everyone, it's Sharana from Pay Your Weight, and today I'm going to be reviewing Cruel Summer, Episode 10, Hostile Witness. Now, I already know what y'all thinking. Sharana, you talked all that smack last week, asking for apologies. I know, but I did say that if I was wrong, which technically, on a technicality, I am not wrong, okay? I'll explain that later in the review, but technically I'm not wrong, but I'm gonna apologize. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, okay? Because technically, but you know what? No, I'm gonna talk about this right now, okay? Because I know what y'all thinking. Y'all sitting there gloating, right? Like, we was seeing Kate the whole time, but Kate still lied too. She said, I thought I saw you. If you didn't see the girl face, then how you know who was who? I understand. That's the bike that she saw from a whole 2 years ago. I get it. However, Jeanette said I didn't see you. I just want to put that out there. Jeanette said I didn't see you, okay? She didn't say I didn't hear you. She said I didn't see you. And technically, she did not see Kate. She heard Kate and kept it moving. So I just want to say on a technicality, if we're talking about technicalities, then technically, I'm still right. At the end of the day, Kate still blamed her, even though she did not see her face fully. She saw a bike, thought the bike belonged to her, so that's still wrong because she said it like she was so confident about it, but it is what it is. It is what it is. It is what it is. Okay, I said I was sorry. That's fine. We're gonna get into the review. So this week's episode takes place October 3rd, 93, 94, 95. So we're opening up. We're in court now, okay? This is what we've been repping up to this entire season. We're in the courtroom. We're trying to figure out who is going to be proven correct. Is Jeanette going to be held accountable, or is Kate going to be held accountable? And so we see the opening statements. I see Jeanette try to do her hair a little bit. I was like, okay, you tried to do your hair a little bit, Jeanette, but it still looks weird. Like, you know, she tried to comb it, blow it out. She gave herself a little poof. And so I was just like, it's just still something not right with it. But what really took me back is when her lawyer was like, we're seeking damages in the tune of $11 million. I said, $11 million, baby? Where do you get $11 million from? How do we come up with these calculations? And I felt like the press were right to ask her, like, sis, you don't think $11 million is a little greedy? Like, you didn't think that was greedy? You didn't think that was doing a bit much? I'm just saying, like, in my humble opinion, girl, you asking for a lot. Like, I know she ruined your life, but you still asking for a whole lot of money. So we end up seeing that after they have like kind of the opening statements before they get into the first full day of the trial, I see Jeanette and Jamie together, and I'm really perplexed. Like, I'm perplexed sitting here like, this is the same fool that punched you in your face. This is the same fool that disrespected you in front of everybody. Let all of his friends bully you, okay? Let all of his friends bully you. Then went back to his ex, okay? Like, ma'am, what are you doing with Jamie? Like, why do you not love yourself? Why do you not love yourself, Jeanette? That is some I don't love myself type of behavior, okay? That you were in love with Kate's life so much and you didn't like the life that you had, the friends that you had, that you went to go be with Jamie after all of the mess that he did to you? Help me figure that out. Why? Why don't you love yourself? So I guess since we talking about Jamie raggedy behind, let me go ahead and finish out Jamie. So Jamie randomly gets his conscience to go talk to Ben. Ben, I'm so sorry. I know I can't apologize for you for ruining your life, ruining your career, driving drunk. But he was like, but you don't need to be mad at Vince. And I was like, you know what, Jamie? I still don't like your ass. But I appreciate you telling Ben that he was being very disrespectful to my man Vince for no reason. And so Ben decides he's going to go talk to Vince and try to apologize to him. So he goes to the video store, and then he basically tells him, he apologizes to him and says that I was vulnerable. And he was like, but what did I do that was so wrong trying to take care of my man? Like, I won't worry about these people. I was trying to take care of my man was hurt, and I was trying to be there for your raggedy behind. But he was like, well, you tried to out us. I said, stop the press. Sir, you were hurt. Wasn't nobody thinking about that. But I'm happy that Vince was able to tell him, like, baby, you weren't the only one to have something to lose. I am black, I am gay, and I live in Texas. Are you serious? Like, you're not the only person that has something that was worth losing. So I don't know. They didn't really tell us what was going to happen with them, or if they decided to be boos. Like, it seemed like Vince was going to cave in, but I don't know. There's a lot of loose ends that they left. I don't know if they're going to do a season 2. I don't think they should do a season 2. I think you just need to leave it where it was. But let me get back to Kate and Jeanette. I just wanted to give you that little side part. Oh, we did get a little scene from Doug. I'm glad that they have a better relationship. Doug. Not Doug. Greg. I do not know why I want to call everybody Doug. I'm so sorry, y'all. I'm so sorry. Now I got the Doug theme song. That's so besides the point. Sorry. Back to the review. So we see that, you know, they're in a good space, and he's checking on her. They're eating ice cream out of the carton together. And while this was supposed to be like a really cute moment to just show how, you know, close they've become and the healing that they've had between one another, it just made me think about, this is why you can't eat stuff from people's houses. Because all I was seeing was them taking the spoon, going in the carton, eating it, putting their germs on the spoon, and then putting that spoon back into the carton that they're probably going to offer to company. They're going to be like, hey, do you want some ice cream? They'll be like, sure. And you're going to be eating all of Jeanette's and Greg's germs. And it just really disrupted my spirit watching the scene. That has nothing to do with this episode recap, but I just want you guys to know that this is why you need to think twice before eating ice cream at somebody else's place. Taking juice too. People drink out of the carton. People drink out of the mug. I'm just saying, I'm just trying to help y'all. I know this has nothing to do with the review, but let me get back into it. Okay, so we see that Kate, she's talking to her sister that she doesn't know is her sister online, and she's telling her, like, I'm nervous. She's saying that she's worried that she might slip and kind of spill the beans about how she actually went to Martin's place. And so we get to the courtroom scene, y'all. We get to the courtroom scene, okay? And so then you can tell Jeanette's attorney, like, baby, I'm finna drop the mic on these hoes real quick. So she says, hey, I want to bring something into evidence. I want to bring something into evidence. And then Kate's lawyer is like, no, halt, objection, halt. Objection. And then they were like, the guy he reading and the judge reading, he's like, oh, this juicy, I'm going to allow it, okay? I don't care if it wasn't a part of discovery, I'm going to allow it. And so she said, baby girl, can you read this for me real quick? What is this? What did I just hand you? Kate looking shook. Everybody else looking shook. I'm smiling, grinning like, ah! I said, Kate, cat got your tongue? Why you can't tell her what the chat history is about? Tell the people of the court what is on this piece of paper. So basically she ends up reading the document, and so then everybody shook. Everybody in the court was like, you hear the audible gasp, and then basically, you know, the lawyer's talking to her like, hey, I did some digging. It was your sister, which this is another plot hole that was kind of left open. Like, why not show the confrontation between Kate and her sister, or at least show her sister? Why wasn't her sister at court? Like, why wouldn't your sister be at court for this big court case, and you're trying to build this relationship with her? That just didn't make sense to me. I felt like that was a plot hole that they never really tied up. It was just the lawyer was like, hey, it was your sister chatting. She was trying to help you. Woo, woo, woo. And then we see her having a conversation with Mallory, that little raggedy tramp. I'm sorry. I know these are teenagers, but she irked my nerves once we figured out the truth about her. But the attorney basically says, like, hey, you need to tell me if there's anything else that you have left out. Because, honey, this was a huge blow to the case. I need to know. I don't need to be shocked by anything else that's going to happen. We don't really know if she ever told him about the whole thing with Martin. I'm not sure. Because, once again, they never told us. We just didn't get any of that info. But we see that she's having a conversation with Mallory about everything that happened, and she tells her, like, hey, I just don't remember Annabelle. I know Annabelle, I said Annabelle saved me. I don't know who Annabelle is. Now, we all thought that Annabelle was Mallory Raggedy Behind, but it was not. We end up realizing later in the episode that that Annabelle is actually the gun that she used to free herself. But she decides she needs to go back to Martin's place. So when she walks in, I'm like, sis, what are you doing here? And then when I see Jeanette walk in, I was like, what? Like, was this planned? Then we realized it was planned. But then come to find out, both of these tricks supposed to be in the courtroom. They supposed to be in court right now, but they up here having a powwow at Martin Raggedy Behind's place. So they end up having this conversation, and she tells her, like, I know that you broke into the house in '93. And Jeanette was like, okay, and I sure didn't see your Raggedy Behind up there when I broke in. And so she ends up telling her, she was like, you stole my life. And then Jeanette was like, you didn't even want your life. And I was like, oh, she sure did want her life. I mean, you talk about you stole my boyfriend, Jamie. Baby, you didn't want Jamie. You went to somebody else. Like, you was tired of Jamie before you even really started having feelings for Martin in the first place. So I was really confused, like, why she was holding this whole Jamie thing against Jeanette, like she even wanted him in the first place. So she ends up telling her, like, hey, I broke in, but I did not go to the basement. I did not go to the basement, and you know I didn't go to the basement. And then she says, well, I saw you. And so she plays it back, and she said she saw the bike with the car. And she was like, hold up, you said it was a car in there in the boombox? She was like, yeah. She was like, sis, that ain't my bike. And I was like, she was like, and I was like, beesh, that's Mallory's bike. And so Jeanette was like, that's Mallory's bike. And essentially, it was Mallory who saw Kate this whole time. The person that Kate thought she saw, she thought it was Jeanette. It was actually Mallory raggedy behind. She didn't say anything. That's why she didn't want to give her the snow globe back, because we saw that Mallory was actually following Jeanette, and she saw Jeanette break into Martin's raggedy house. And then when she left, she followed her back home and confronted her and called her a weirdo. I was like, now, Mallory, of all the people to be calling people creeps or weirdos, it shouldn't be you. However, yes, Jeanette, you are being weird. Like, who just keeps breaking into somebody's house? Like, girl, she need therapy. So basically, that's how she got the snow globe. So Jeanette's like, here, you take the snow globe. Since it's so important to you, take the snow globe, girl. Get out of my house. Bye. So Kate realizes, like, oh my gosh, like, you really didn't see me. She was like, beesh, I've been spending a whole 10 episodes trying to tell you regular behind, I did not see you. That's not what she said, but that's technically what we was thinking. So, basically, she apologizes to her, and then she asks her, like, hey, like, so what actually happened? And she tells her, like, they started as friends and then turned into more than friends, and then she ended up being held captive. And then she says there's a part of her memory that she needs to unlock, but she has to go into the basement in order to be able to do it. So she asked Jeanette to go with her. And I was like, Jeanette, why are you being so nice to Kate? I mean, now we know why she was being nice to Kate, but why are you being, this girl has, like, turned your life upside down. You're the most hated person in the world. Why are you being so nice? Why are you going downstairs with her? But she tells her, like, hey, you should definitely sue me. And she was like, girl, it wasn't about the money. I wanted to know what it was like to be you. And I was like, Jeanette, that's one hell of a way to figure out what it's like to be somebody else. Like, Jeanette needs therapy. She truly needs therapy. But we see when she goes downstairs, she kind of unlocks her memory. And she says the night before she was rescued, he came downstairs. He was shook. He had been different since, you know, he was visibly shaken, and the police had came to his house asking about Kate. So basically he knew that they were going to figure out that Kate was there. And so essentially he pulls out the gun, and he says that the gun's name is Annabelle. So that's who Annabelle was. And Annabelle was the gun that his father used to commit suicide. He killed himself. And so essentially he tells her, like, hey, I want you to go live your life. I want you to go see the world the way that we wanted to see it. And I want you to know that you were truly loved. And then he says goodbye. And it's like he about to pull the gun. It's like, oh my gosh. And then she was like, then he starts screaming. He was like, ah. And I was like, what are you finna do? So Kate picks up the gun, and essentially she pulls the gun on him, and then he's basically trying to talk her out of it. He's trying to say, like, hey, we could find a way to make this work. Like, just give him the gun. He's talking about, I don't want you don't want to do this. I love you. I want to be with you. And then she pulls the trigger. So that's how he ends up getting shot. That's how he actually died. It wasn't like a shootout. The police got there and guns are blazing. She's the one who actually killed him. And then she talks about how she slept next to him that night because she was angry. She felt guilty. She was guilty that she loved him. She felt guilty for hating him, and she felt guilty for killing him ultimately. And then the next day the cops came in the morning, and then Kate is like, I'm a bad person. And Jeanette tells her, no, you're not. And so we see that she ends up holding a press conference, and we see that she ends up setting Jeanette free. And then she goes to see Mallory. Now, I didn't agree with how this whole interaction between Kate and Mallory went down. I understand that Kate is probably tired at this point. She already like ruined one person's life. She might not want to do it for Mallory. But Mallory sent up their pack. I said, baby, where you going? Where you going? I'm so happy that Kate found her. I thought Kate was finna curse her out, finna like launch at her. But no, she was just like, you're gonna leave me? You're gonna leave me by myself? And I was just like, what is going on right now? Like, Kate, why are you apologizing? Like, why are you begging her to stay? Like, somebody help this make sense for me. So basically they were trying to make us feel sorry for Mallory. Mallory's like, I didn't think it was you. Like, why would you be there? And I was just like, that's your excuse? That's the excuse you gonna get? You gonna get that whack ass excuse? What? I was like, girl, you need to do better. I was just really confused that Kate still wanted to be her friend, like hugging her. I was just like, this don't make no damn sense whatsoever. That was just the weirdest thing that ever happened. But we do get flashbacks. We get some things, like we figure out why Jeanette cut her hair in the first place. So they were watching, we go back to 1994 Kate. See, they're watching the Marshall Bailey show. This is where Kate goes on and basically says, she names Jeanette out and says, you saw me. And this is technically, this is illegal. You shouldn't do that. I don't want y'all to get on the news and be calling people out because you can get sued for that. Just don't do that. But she talks about, like, she's like, to the girl who remains silent, and then she names Jeanette. And then Kate's parents is pissed. Everybody pissed. She's like, well, fine. Everybody else breaking the law. Let me break the law too. But we see that this is what prompts Jeanette to cut her hair. And I have to say, her hair actually looked good when she cut it when it was wet. I don't know what happened from when it dried. I don't know if she just decided never to go to the beauty salon. I don't know what the hell happened. But it looked good when she cut it. It just, I don't know why no one could do anything to this wig that she had on this whole season. But yeah, it was just bad, y'all. But we go 1 month later. And this time, Jeanette is on the Marsha Bailey show. Marsha apologizes to her like a woman, just like I apologize to y'all like a woman. And then she talks about how she's the most wrong woman in America. She went from being the most hated woman in America to the most wrong woman in America. Clearly she alludes that her and Jamie Raggedy Behinds are still together. But we see Mallory and Kate are like watching this, and Mallory calls her a creep. And I was like, Mallory, we still calling people creep? Like, how are you still judging people when you are dirty as hell? Like, how are you still judging people? But Kate's like, hey, she might be creepy, but hey, she's innocent. And so then we see that Kate and them take a ride. They get out of the car, start dancing. Then they kiss because we knew that they probably liked each other. But I'm still confused about this. Like, I understand, like, Mallory has been her only friend. I get it. I know what y'all gonna say. Sharana, Mallory has been the only person that's been there for her. But there ain't not a chance in hell that I would be friends with you after you let me, like, you were a trash person. Like, Mallory is a trash person for so many other reasons, bullying her friends. But the fact that you knew that Jeanette wasn't there that night and it was you and you didn't tell nothing to her, I just don't understand how Kate will be okay with that. I understand she's in this spirit, this season of forgiveness, but it ain't enough forgiveness in the world. And even if I did forgive you, that don't mean we need to be friends, and especially not lovers. Are you serious right now? But it also makes me feel as though the reason why Mallory was so hurt by Jeanette is because she actually liked Jeanette. And Jeanette didn't have the same feelings for her, even though Jeanette didn't know she had feelings. But that's just me projecting a lot. That's me, like, you know, just trying to guess that that's why Mallory has so much contempt for Jeanette. But I'm thinking at this point, I'm like, oh, we Gucci. I ain't got to say no apology. I ain't got to do ish. So then we go to 1994. We go back, and then we see Jeanette. She breaking into this damn house, Martin Raggedy house again. And then she's walking, and then someone's like, hello? Hello, can somebody hear me? Y'all, it was Kate. It was Kate. She said it was Kate. Can someone help me? I'm being held captive. She goes to open the door, and then she stops and she looks in the camera, and then the perfect song choice comes on because they start playing a cover of Creep, which is originally by Radiohead, but I think it was a cover. And then it goes off, and I was just like, wow. Oh my God, I had almost made it to the clear. If it wasn't for them last damn 15 seconds, I would have been in the clear. I wouldn't have had to say no apologies to nobody, nothing. Oh my goodness, this hoe was guilty the whole time. However, I still want to point out, technicality, she said she didn't see her. I just want you to know that. She said she never saw her. She heard her ass, but she didn't see her. So I just want to make sure. I mean, yes, Jeanette is guilty. She trash. Mallory trash. Everybody trash. Kate not really trash. I mean, Kate, the jury's still out. But Kate's been through a lot, so we're going to let her slide for a little bit. But Jeanette, something wrong with Jeanette. I really hope that she gets therapy. I really hope that she gets the attention that she so desperately craves. I would love to see, like, if Jamie ever found out. I wish we could have seen what happened between Jeanette and her mother. Like, it's just like Vince even being at the trial or talking to her after she got acquitted. I just feel like it was a good finale. Well, really the last couple of seconds of the episode really makes the entire finale. But it just felt like it was a lot missing. They didn't tie up a lot of stuff like I would have liked them to have tied up. But I guess at the end of the day, it wasn't about tying up loose ends. It was about figuring out, was Jeanette lying? Was she telling the truth? What actually happened that day? And I guess we got the answers for that. But, you know, I think we should just leave this as a season 1. I don't think we need a season 2. I mean, I would still watch a season 2 if they brought a season 2. But some stuff rubbed me the wrong way in the finale. It just didn't make sense for me, the Mallory and Kate thing. Like, we saw them going towards a whole couple route with them. But it's just weird that she will forgive her, or that Jeanette would never out Mallory, or maybe she just did that to protect her own innocence or guilt at that point. I don't know. Some just didn't sit right in my spirit with how the overall episode flowed. But for the last 30 seconds alone, you know, it is what it is. I said my apologies. I was being a woman about it. Okay, I put my big girl's panties on and I said my apology. So let me know. I'm doing this for the Handmaid's Tale. If you guys want to have like a last discussion to chat everything Cruel Summer, let me know and we can do a live stream and I can answer questions. We could talk this through as a family for one last time. But this is my last recap of Cruel Summer. We made it to the end, you guys. It's been a great past 9 weeks with all of you. So those are my thoughts on Cruel Summer episode 10, Hostile Witness. As always, my name is Sharonda from Payroll Waits, and if you like what you saw today, make sure you hit the like button, hit subscribe, share this video with your friends, and make sure you hit the notification bell. And I love you guys 3000, and until I see you again, bye.